Before this video starts, make sure to subscribe to the main channel. Let's try and get to 200 subs by the end of 2022. What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video on the second channel. Today we are live on Twitch and we are going to be doing the League 2 Stadium tier list for the 2022-23 season. Now, just a little disclaimer before we get into the tier list. I want to say that all of these stadiums were found on Wikipedia. So if I get any stadium names wrong, I do apologise. So yeah, let's get straight into the tier list. So here we go. Here is the tier list. We have today got 6 tiers to go. The top one being I really want to visit. The second to top would pay on an away day. The kind of middle is, you know, it's alright, it's okay, sort of thing. Second to bottom is Technique is better. If you don't know, Technique Stadium is Chesterfield Stadium. And the bottom one is would never visit. And we do have one more for one specific stadium, which is Shithole. And I think you all know what that stadium is going to be. So yeah. So today I'm going to be kind of ranking these on the look of the stadium, the distance to where I am, so which is why I put would pay on an away day, if you know what I mean. But if it's miles away, I wouldn't pay on an away day, sort of thing. But also just how it looks, the stadium itself, where it is, if it's old or new, sort of thing. That's kind of what I'm going to be ranking these today. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. So first of all, we have got Plough Lane. This is a very recent ground, very recent built ground is what I mean. Built in 2020 with a capacity of 9,369. This is an okay ground. My immediate place would to be put it in. It's okay. It's like it's not the best, it's not the worst. It's just in the middle. Like I'd probably say yeah, Technique is better than it. It is miles away, of course. So for that, it's either it's okay or Technique is better. Technique has got a bigger, you know, capacity. It's not awful, so I'm gonna put Technique is better. Technique is better. It's not necessarily bad. It's just saying our stadium is better. Next up, we've got Holker Street. Home of Barrow, a capacity of 5,045 and built in 1909. I'll put it in, it's okay, it's my first reaction. It's an old school ground. I was going to go to it, I think the 2019-20 season, but I think that I can't remember what happened, but we were going to go spend the night there, stuff like that, and have a nice, you know, day trip in, but well, not day trip, but you know what I mean, nice weekend in Barrow, but we didn't do it in the end. It's a nice ground, old school ground. As I said, it is pretty far away from us. However, I'm not fully judging it from that. It's at the bottom of would pay on an away day, if that makes sense. It's like very low tier would pay on an away day, but it's a nice little, as I said, it's a nice little old school ground. Next up, we've got Bradford City's Valley Parade, a capacity of 25,000, the highest capacity ground here. And built in 1886. I believe this is the biggest ground in League 2, and I'll be honest, it's one I really want to visit. I've never been to Bradford's ground, really want to go. Not too far from me as well. Chesterfield, been there a couple of times. I mean, however, I never got to go, which is why I do really want to visit. So a big ground for League 2, which I don't think is a problem. I think it's just fine. But I really like Bradford City's Valley Parade. That's why I put it in. I really want to visit. Next up then, we've got Carlisle United's Brunton Park, a capacity of 17,949 and was built in 1909. It's okay, like it's alright, it's there, sort of thing. Like I nearly named it that actually, it's there, but I decided to put it's okay, just like in the middle. But I've never been. It is quite far away. But as I said, I'm not trying to judge it on that. It's a lovely ground. I feel like I put it's okay. Is Brunton Park. Next up, we've got the Colchester Community Stadium in Colchester with a capacity of 10,105 and was built in 2008. So a fairly recent ground. Again, I'm going to put it in it's okay. The reason I say that is Oh, I could put it in with pay on an away day. Thing is, though, it's miles away, so maybe not. We'll put it top end of it's okay. So Carlisle will be at the more bottom end. It's okay. It's a nice little ground. I say that for every ground. I do apologise about that, but I'm just being honest. Next up, we've got Broadfield Stadium, home of Crawley, with a capacity of 5,996, built in 1997. It's decent, but I would say technique is better. It is a bit of a poo hole, to be fair. It's not awful. It's not. I would never visit, because I don't think I've been to any of the. No, I haven't been to any of these grounds I put on the list so far. I would visit it, I'll be honest, but I just think the technique is better. And you could argue technique is better than Colchester Community Stadium, but like they have more of a unique like sort of stadium, if you know what I mean. This is very. I just think they need to build a new ground, Crawley, if I'm being totally honest. Next up, we have Gresty Road, home of Crewe Alexandra, with a capacity of 10,153 and built in 1906. This is a definite would pay on an away day, 1000%. Never been, want to go. It's not I would want to visit, because I've never thought in my head, oh, I want to visit Crewe. However, they are the railwaymen, I'm pretty sure. And if you know me personally, I'm a big fan of trains, but that's got nothing to do with the actual stadium itself. The reason I say that is because it's next to the station is next to the stadium, so it'd be quite fun going there on like a trip or something. So definitely would pay on an away day. I'll actually put it top end of would pay on an away day, because it's a high capacity ground. It's a nice little ground, and yeah, would definitely would pay on the way. Next up, the Keepmoat Stadium, home of Doncaster Rovers, with a capacity of 15,231 and built in 2006. So this stadium is actually the first stadium that I visited, and I'd say I'd go again. Yeah, it's not too far. It's not like the away end. Sorry, the away end is a decent, like it's decent, like it's not got 300 in the away end or some non-league rubbish. It's decent. I'd say I would pay on an away day. Sorry, Crewe's got to be. I'll put it in between Crewe and Barrow, I think. And I think that's my completely honest opinion. I've been there, would go again, definitely. Next up, Priestfield Stadium, home of Gillingham, a capacity of 11,582 and built in 1893. This one, I think this is going to be our first would never visit, and the reason I say this is the away end has got no roof. It's down south as well, so it's probably bloody freezing in that away end. I'll be honest, it's got nice elements. I'll be honest, it's got some good facilities there. However, I just wouldn't visit, like, genuinely. Small away end as well. I mean, if you're taking a lot, then obviously they'll probably let you have a bit more than the average amount. But it's a tiny away end, and it's got no roof. Bit of a poo hole away end wise. So that's why I put it in would never visit, and that is the first would never visit of this list. Next up, we got Blundell Park, home of Grimsby Town, newly promoted with a capacity of 9,052 and built in 1899. I'll be honest, I have been here before. When I went, I really did not like the ground, but if you look at it, it's literally like built on a bunch of houses, like literally. It's just a football stadium, and then there's houses just everywhere in Grimsby. I like this ground. It's a very good ground, and very old school, very old fashioned ground. And I would definitely want to visit again. This would be on the bottom end of want to visit again. But the away end wasn't too bad. I mean, we lost on the day, obviously. But I liked Grimsby's Blundell Park, and I would definitely want to visit again. Next up, we got Wetherby Road, home of Harrogate, with a capacity of 5,000 and built in 1920. I just want to point this out. The reason you're probably thinking, oh, built in 1920, that's BS. No, It was renovated in 2014, so a lot of preparations has gone to this ground to make it a Football League ground, if that makes sense. So credit to Harrogate for that. This is a definite would pay on an away day. The only downside of this ground is it's not a big away end, but to be fair, it's not a big home end either, if you know what I mean. So I'm putting it at the bottom. I'm putting it in between Doncaster and Barrow on would pay on an away day. And yeah, that's just the truth. I haven't been to Harrogate. Was going to go. Didn't get the chance to go. And yeah. Next up, Victoria Park, home of Hartlepool, with a capacity of 7,856 and built in 1886. I love Victoria Park. I love where it's built. It's slightly old school. I mean, it's been renovated, let's be honest. I think we could tell by that because it's got some old elements, but it's also got some, you know, good elements to it. Like, it's got a bunch of seating in the away ends, not too bad. I'd probably put this one on the top end of it's okay. And the reason I say that is because it is quite a long way away, if that makes sense. It is pretty far. However, if we were, like, for example, if my family were to plan out like a 2-3 day trip to Hartlepool, you know, go see the you know, the statue of the hanging monkey and stuff like that, go see the museum, it would definitely be a fun, you know, trip. And that's as well as what I'm kind of doing this off. If you were to go there for like a day, like, well, not a day trip, but like a weekend, see how fun it would be. And I mainly do them on coastal away days. So for example, Barrow we've done or earlier in this list. That's a good, you know, weekend away like sort of trip. That's kind of what also I am doing this on. Next up, we've got Brisbane Road, home of Leyton Orient, with a capacity of 9,271 and built in the 1890s. There's no official date of when it was completed. I'd probably put this on the bottom. We'll put it in between Colchester and Carlisle, I think. It's there. Like, it's a good ground in London, so it's miles away. Not too big of an away end, I'll be honest. I do like the ground though. It has a, you know, it has a different, like, you know, the big Leyton Orient sign, like, that's different to any other ground on this list. And for that reason, that's why I've kind of put it above Technique is better. Otherwise, I probably would have put it on the top end of Technique is better. So yeah. Next up, we got Field Mill, home of Sheffield, capacity of 9,186 and built in 1861. This is the worst ground in the whole of the Football League. Been there before and I hated it, absolutely hated it. And it wasn't even because of the result, because we had an alright result that day. It is actually a poo hole. They've only got 3 stands. It's a massive shithole, and it's an awful ground. Next up, we got Newport's Rodney Parade, with a capacity of 7,850, built in 1877. Again, this is a very different one. It's had a bit of renovating. Obviously, it's in Wales, so it's like bottom end of Wales as well. So it's quite a long way from us. I'd probably put it in Technique is better. I'd probably put it top end of Technique is better. Only just though, because it is different, but I would say the Technique Stadium is better than this, because, you know, not that big of it. Well, to be fair, it's got quite a big away end. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, played Tottenham in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, I can't remember, and Tottenham took a lot. They had a big away end, so fair enough for that element. I still would put it in Technique is better though. I do apologise, Newport fans, because you have got a brilliant ground. Next up, we got Northampton Town's Sixfield Stadium, with a capacity of 7,798 and built in 1994. I would put it on the bottom. It's like bottom, like if there was an in-between section between Repair and the Way Day and It's Okay, it'd probably be there. Would I pay on a Way Day, or is it? Yeah, I got my voice. Sorry about that. I'd say I'd probably pay on an away day. I'll be honest, it's not miles away. Well, it depends how you look at it, but it's decent ground, decent away end. it's alright. You know what I mean? Like that's why I would put it on Would Pay on away day, like sort of thing. If we were to draw him in second round at FA Cup or something, I'd pay on away day, I'll be honest. Next up, we've got the Spotland Stadium, home of Rochdale, with a capacity of exactly 10,000 and built in 1878. This one I haven't been to. It's in Manchester, or like outskirts of Manchester, I guess. Never been. Wanted to go. It's not I would want to visit because it's not a huge ground. However, Grimsby isn't a huge ground. But you know what I mean? It's got that old school factors, Grimsby, with this doesn't really. Probably put this in between Grimsby, no, not Grimsby, Crewe and Doncaster there, look, on Would Pay on away day. So if that makes sense, Would Pay on away days, like, Crewe's are higher, like, more, like, do you get what I'm trying to say? The more higher Would Pay on away day, and this, the more lower, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's where I'm putting Spotland. Next up, we got the Peninsula Stadium, home of Salford City, with a capacity of 5,108 and built in 1978. Small away end, I'll be honest, Salford. In Manchester, probably put it in between Colchester and Leyton Orient in It's Okay. Like, it's there. Like, I've been, I probably wouldn't go again. If I wanted to follow Chesterfield, obviously I would go again. But if it was like for a neutral game, I probably wouldn't go again, which is why I put it in It's Okay. It has got nice elements, like, you know, the what's it called, the floodlights, the badge around it. That's cool. However, it's okay. I do apologise, Salford fans, but yeah, it's an okay ground. Next up, the Lamex Stadium, home of Stevenage, with a capacity of 7,800 and built in 1961. Interesting ground this. I probably put it only just in technique is better, I'd say. Only just though, because I'd say the technique is slightly better than this. I mean, I think they've had some renovations on it recently. I can't quite remember that there. It might be Crawley. But it's just there, you know what I mean? But technique is better, sort of thing. It's there, but the technique is better, which is why I put it top end of technique is better. And yeah, the Lamex Stadium. Edgeley Park, home of Stockport County, with a capacity of 10,852, built in 1891. I haven't been to this ground, however, I have really wanted to go to this ground, which is why I put it in want to visit. Stockport County smashed the league last season after Dave Challoner came in and absolutely demolished the National League, and all amount of fairness, being a Chesterfield fan. I couldn't go to Stockport away last season. However, you know, I'd rather go as a neutral rather than kind of like be league rivals with Stockport, if that makes sense. Like, I like Stockport. They're a nice club, family run club, now in League 2, looking to have back-to-back promotions back up to League 1, and I hope they do that, and I do want to genuinely visit. I think I'll actually put it just above Grimsby Town's Blundell Park, because I've been there and I haven't been to Edgeley Park, so that's kind of played a factor. Next up, we've got Gander Green Lane, home of Sutton United, with a capacity of 5,032, built in 1898. I'm so sorry, Sutton fans, but I just wouldn't visit this ground. I'll be completely honest. It's a non-league ground, but it just looked weird with all the athletic tracks around it. You're miles away from the pitch. I just don't like the ground at all, and that's why I put it in with never visit. Obviously on the Chesterfield away day, I would visit. However, like, if I was going as a neutral, no, I'm not visiting. I'm sorry, Sutton fans. Next up, the County Ground, home of Swindon, with a capacity of 15,728 and built in 1890. Put it in top end of It's Okay, because it's near to Would Pay on an away day. However, it's just there. It's like, it's quite a while away. Not that big of an away end. However, it's it's a nice ground. Like, I'd say that it's a good ground. And yeah, it's okay. It's in the middle. Next up, we've got Tranmere Rovers Prenton Park. Capacity of 16,789 and built in 1912. This is a would pay on an away day, definitely. I'll probably put it above Rochdale, because I just think it's a nicer ground. Not too small away end, like it's got an average away end, I think. I would definitely pay on the away day. It's not too far as well. It's in Liverpool. Well, not really Liverpool. It's in the other side, the Merseyside River, or Mersey River. I don't know what it's called, but I would definitely pay on the away day and would definitely want to visit. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the last stadium on this list is the Bescot Stadium, home of Walsall, with a capacity of 11,300 and built in 1990. I tell you what, I'll probably put it in between Rochdale and Doncaster. I'd say that. And the reason I say that is because I've never been, and I have wanted to go, but it's not a want to visit sort of thing. I've wanted to go to the stadium, not too far, Birmingham, not miles away. It's like a nice little ground. The Bescot Stadium. It's got its own train station as well. I'm a nerd, so somehow I know that. But yeah, not too small of a way end. It's a good ground, I think. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is my tier list. Make sure to send me your tier list. I'll probably put the tier list in the description of this video. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day. This has been a fun video to make on stream with my chat. And yeah, I'll see you all soon, hopefully for some more tier list reviews. I'll see you all soon, guys. Have a good day.